In this video, you will discover the 5 secrets on what to do if he doesn't prioritize you. Hi, I'm Antia, founder and creator of the Magnetize Your Man Method. And look, if you're new to my channel, don't forget that smash that subscribe button so you get notified for more juicy videos coming your way. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Number 5, become the drink. What in the world does that mean? Now, when you notice that you're not getting the attention that you think you should and that he doesn't prioritize you, that tells me something about your awareness. Your awareness is going away from you towards the other person. So why would you do that? Why would you think that? Well, because you think the party is taking place outside of you. The other person is the drink, right? The margarita or the pina colada or whatever your favorite cocktail is. So if you don't drink your favorite cake or whatever it is, I know it's like a lot of food comparisons here, but that's how you want to think. You want to actually think hold on a second. No, I'm the drink. I'm the pina colada. So ask yourself, if you were the drink, so that actually has you actually focus on yourself. If you were the cocktail, what kind of cocktail would you be? You see what that does? Out of the sudden, you start to focus on, that's right, yourself. You're asking yourself questions versus asking questions about him and what he's doing and why is he not showing up. Out of the sudden, we totally shifted, and out of the sudden you thought wait a minute, I'm the drink. Hey, I'm gonna call my girlfriend to ask her what drink she would be. And out of the sudden you create a whole new world over here versus thinking life and the party is taking place over here. Try it out. Number 4, don't prioritize him. Now, this is coming along the same lines in that, don't put him on a pedestal. Don't make him the priority. Don't think he has all the value. But instead, you can do 2 things. You can either put yourself on a pedestal as well, or you can make yourself a priority. So let me share a story when I did this 11 years ago when I was saying now I've been together with my husband for 8 years. So, we're going back quite a bit. But what was happening was I had this man a little bit on a pedestal. And I was doing exactly that. I was more prioritizing him. Now, but I also knew that I wanted to have an authentic and connected relationship, in that when I wanted to just reach out to him, I wanted to do it from a place of, honor and self-respect and abundance and value versus from neediness, in that he's the source of my happiness, which I'm sure you've heard about. So, beautiful Sunday afternoon during the summer, and he said, hey, why don't you come on a boat with me? He owned a boat back then, and go on a sailing trip and all of that. And I knew in that moment that I had a decision to make. If I would go that Sunday afternoon with him, I would tell myself that only with him I can create those kind of experiences. But what I really needed to learn, because remember, it's about the balance, is that I could create this experience for myself. So I did the unthinkable, turned him down, which left him speechless, because you can only imagine the amount of women that he had lined up who were ready to go on Sunday on his boat trip with his sailing boat and so on and so on. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to spend a beautiful Antia afternoon with myself and love myself, go to the movies by myself. I forgot what I ended up doing. I think going to lunch with my girlfriend, getting my nails done, things like that. And I just really disciplined and forced myself, quote unquote, to really make myself a priority versus making him a priority. And of course, wouldn't you know it, he came running back. He called me every day, left me voice messages, asked me out. I got so pursued by this guy. Of course, he ended up not being the right one, but I got pursued by him. He put actually all the value onto me that I originally had put onto him. So try that out. Number 3, identify the part. Now, as you know, I come from the psychology background. So what I always ask myself is, okay, so let's not even focus on the surface. Let's really see what's behind that. Like, why do I want to have this attention right now? Why do I want to be a priority right now? What is it inside of myself? And so the first step that I take to create a context, you want to create a context, you want to create perspective, I'm asking myself, which part inside of me wants to be a priority right now? Which part of inside of me wants to have attention right now? Which part inside of me wants him to call me right now? This is really important because then you're not over-identifying yourself and thinking all of you wants him and all of you is, needs that attention. But you actually see, oh, it's just a part of me. That means let's find the other part that actually doesn't need the attention. Let's find the other part inside of you that's actually already confident. Let's find the other part inside of you that's already wise, and so on. And that part can then actually support that part that wants to have the attention, that feels needy in a moment, that feels clingy, that feels sad, that feels desperate, and really saying it's not all of you, it's a part of you. More of that I train on in my masterclass that you get to learn more about at the end of this video. And you also learn about the archetypes. Number 2 is feel safe to be seen. Now, what I so often observe from all those incredible single successful women that come to me is that they want the attention, but honestly, when I do an exercise with them, I have a specific process I take them through, we oftentimes actually identify that they don't feel safe to get all of that attention. Oh, I know, mind is blown. Here you are Googling on what to do when he doesn't prioritize you. And now you actually come to find out that you unconsciously don't want him to prioritize you. I now know this is very counterintuitive, which is why it's so powerful, because I can tell you the biggest transformation comes from counterintuitive concepts. So think about it this way. If you had a childhood in which being seen was not safe, oftentimes we can connect it to an abusive parent where you already started to have to hide, of course, because you knew when that abusive parent would come home, that would mean, better become invisible, because the first person that comes into daddy's or mommy's way gets the brunt, right? Gets the beating, gets the insults, gets the comments, and all of that, gets the yelling, whatever the case may be. Now, another way could be if you have a narcissistic parent, if you got invaded, if your space got invaded all the time, you also try to not outshine that person. Oftentimes it's related to the mother, but it can also be the father, because you would only get approval if you would put those parents on a pedestal. So again, it didn't feel safe to be seen, because that would mean you would get disapproval and potentially even punishment from your parents. So I hope this gives you a little bit more of a context on why it's so important to feel safe to be seen, and more about that, of course, also in my masterclass that we'll be talking about shortly. And number 1 is breathe. Breathing is so important, because when you breathe, you actually say, life is with me. I am alive. And where life goes, that's where attention goes. That's where energy flows. So you're actually going to get attention back from him. What I mean by that is, instead of going into coping mechanisms, I so often I talk to people and I ask them, oh, what would you do? And they're like, oh, I would just call my girlfriend. I would pretend it's not happening. I would just have a bottle of champagne. I would just fill in the blank. But nobody ever said, I would just breathe. I would be with what's present for me right now. I would come into my body. I would work on breaking through my vulnerability thresholds so I can be fully available to myself, to either now attract the attention from the man of my desire or to become highly magnetic and attractive to the man who can give me that attention that I so deeply desire. I give you an example. Let's say you're going on a date. And I brought this example before, and the man is talking forever and ever and ever, and you just like stop breathing because you're just focusing on him. You're outside of your body. But when you breathe, you have to naturally focus on yourself, and it also interrupts the pattern because now the other person's like, wait a minute, you just breathed. I noticed that I wasn't breathing. I noticed that I was leaving my body. I was noticing that I disconnected, I disassociated from myself. So they will feel actually much more alive in your presence, and they will much more respect you and honor you and seek your presence, seek that energy, seek that light, seek that radiance. So more of that, of course, in my masterclass. If you like this video, boy, do I have a juicy gift for you, which is my free masterclass on the 3 keys on how to crack the attraction code to attract a committed, high quality, and yes, available man into your life. So for that, click that link right below this video, or you can simply go to magnetizeyourman.com. Ladies, I am so excited to see you in there. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.